Amanda from Pontes Books here with the Chapter 29 vocabulary focus for the Prince and the Pauper. Today's vocab word is one that isn't used so much anymore and is honestly kind of tricky when you see it, just because it's not used as often. Our word for today is by and by. So like I said, you see it used sometimes, but it's one of those more old-fashioned words that come up in classic texts. So what does it mean? The definition can mean it could be a noun, it could be a future time or occasion. So you're talking about, it's almost synonymous with like the future. So in, something that's coming up in the future, you can use it as that noun. But probably more often, it depends on how it's being used in the story, you can also be an adverb. So oftentimes if it's being used as a noun, you'll see the word the before it. And if it's being used as an adverb, it often is at the beginning of a sentence. That's meaning kind of like at a later time. So later is an adverb. It kind of replaces that. So again, if we're looking at examples that relate to noun and adverb form of the word, future, before long, soon, those types of phrases are what we use more often nowadays instead of by and by. Obviously, some antonyms, some non-examples would be yesterday or right now. So this is things that's happening in the future, not the present or the past. So just a little bit of history of this word, because there isn't really a etymology, because it's technically three words that have been joined together. So originally, by and by, as three separate words, meant one by one, with by apparently denoting succession, like one by one, the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. So the modern sense, before long, is from the 1520s, is where that kind of came into effect. Otherwise, it was originally the 14th century. So that idea of one by one, though, still has kind of that same feeling of moving forward in time or in succession. So it still was a related meaning, but has changed a little bit over time to specifically talk about, in the future, before long, sometime in the near future. So some example sentences are straightforward sentence. Both of these are going to use by and by as more of an adverb. By and by, we'll take a trip to Europe. So in the near future, soon, later, we'll take a trip to Europe. Did I say to the future? I might have said to the future. By and by, we'll take a trip to Europe. Sentence from the chapter would be, by and by, a thought occurred to him which pointed to a possibility. So in this case, it's kind of like soon a thought occurred to him which pointed to a possibility. And there aren't really other forms of this word. It's kind of its specific little, like I said, three words that have been kind of combined into one over time. So that's by and by. Hopefully you learned something. Have a good rest of your day.